Hi, my name is Matthew Schlicting, and I'm going to work you through question 35 of section 2.2. And for this question, all we have to do, we're working with this function, we're going to apply the leading term test, determine the zeros, and state the multiplicity of any repeated zeros, and then find a few additional points and graph the function. So for the leading term test, our leading term is negative x times x squared times x. And that means that it's just negative x to the fourth. And since the leading coefficient is negative, it's negative 1, and the degree is even, as x approaches negative infinity, y also approaches negative infinity. And then as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. And then for the zeros, it's really easy because it's already factored, the equation is already factored. The zeros are just going to be 0, negative 3, and then 5. So, since x plus 3, which gets us negative 3 for a 0, is squared, that means the multiplicity of this is 2. It's just the power to which that section of the function is multiplied by. And so then for C, we're going to find a few additional points, which I've already done to save time. Basically, all you have to do for this is record the zeros, which are, again, negative 3, 0, and then 5, and then take a few other points between and outside of the function, or before and after the zeros, rather. So I chose negative 4, which is before negative 3, negative 1, which is on the interval between negative 3 and 0, 1, which is on the interval between x and 5, and then 6, which is after 5, which is the greatest 0. Or the greatest x that will get us a 0. And then you just plug in all of them into the original equation, or function, which is negative x times x plus 3 squared times x minus 5. And so I got, for my points, negative 4 and negative 36, negative 3 and 0, negative 1, negative 24, 0 and 0, 1 and 64, 5 and 0, and then 6 and negative 486, which is pretty big. And then part D, all we're doing is graphing. So we're going to have a plot. And it's easiest to start with the zeros, so I'm going to go back 3. So at negative 3 and 0, we have a point. And then at 0 and 0, we have another point. And then another 5. And we have our last 0. And then for 1 and 64, we're going to compress this a bit. And I'll go by tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, somewhere around there. We're going to have another point, about right there. And then you have negative 1 and negative 24, so like about 1, 2 down, somewhere around there, we'll have another point. And then for 6 and negative 486, that's just way off the grid, way, way, way down there. So we're not even going to graph that one. We're just going to use that to figure out the direction after 5, after the 0 at 5. And so then at negative 4, which is right here, you have negative 36, which I'll just go down one more, and it's about right there. So then our function goes like this, and up, and then it peaks and it goes all the way down, and then that last point is way off. And that is how you do question 35 of section 2.2. Thank you.